The pharmacy was almost empty, except for the soft hum of a broken ceiling fan and the faint crying of a sick little girl. Maya stood at the counter, her trembling hands clutching a prescription slip, her eyes swollen from lack of sleep. "Ma'am, I'm sorry," the pharmacist said gently, but firmly. "Without full payment, I can't give you the medicine." Maya's throat tightened. She turned to look at her daughter, Lily, pale, coughing, barely able to stand. "Please," Maya whispered. "She's only 6. I'll pay next week. I promise. I just started a new job." The man behind the counter shook his head, his sympathy shadowed by policy. "I wish I could help, ma'am, but—" Before he could finish, a calm, deep voice from behind interrupted. "Greater than, charge it to me." Maya froze. The voice belonged to a tall man in a dark suit, with eyes that looked both powerful and weary, the kind of man who seemed to carry entire worlds on his shoulders. The pharmacist's eyes widened. "Mr. Bennett, sir, of course." Maya turned, confused. I can't accept that. You don't even know me." The man gave a small smile. "Sometimes, knowing someone isn't necessary to help them." Chapter 1. The Weight of the World. Maya didn't have time for pride. She accepted the help, tears spilling down her cheeks. When she reached for her wallet to thank him again, the man was gone. She didn't know that the man, Ethan Bennett, CEO of Bennett Industries, had been silently watching from afar, drawn to something in her voice, something in the desperation that mirrored his own loneliness. For years, Ethan had built empires but lost himself in the process. His wife had died 5 years ago, cancer, and he hadn't smiled genuinely since. His world was full of meetings, money, and people who loved what he owned, not who he was. That night, as he sat in his penthouse overlooking the city, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about the little girl's eyes, fragile, but full of trust. And the mother's, exhausted, but fierce. Chapter 2. Strangers cross paths again. A week later, Maya started her new job as a receptionist at Bennett Industries. She didn't know the company's CEO was the same man from the pharmacy, not until her second week, when she spilled coffee in the elevator and looked up into his familiar, kind eyes. "Maya, right," he said softly, helping her pick up the papers. Her jaw dropped. You're the man from the pharmacy." He smiled faintly. "I didn't expect to see you here." From that moment, something unspoken grew between them, a quiet respect, a sense of destiny. But gossip in the office spread fast. Colleagues whispered, accused her of trying to catch the CEO's attention. Maya ignored it. She needed the job. Lily's medicine was expensive, and rent was always late. Chapter 3. A Heart That Heals. One night, Ethan stayed late at work. He saw Maya asleep at her desk, head resting on piles of files, a note beside her. Greater than, pick up Lily's medicine before 9 p.m. She had missed it. Without waking her, Ethan picked up the note, went to the pharmacy, and bought the medicine himself. When Maya woke up, the bottle sat beside her with a small sticky note. Greater than, mothers shouldn't have to do everything alone. Tears filled her eyes. She tried to thank him the next day, but he simply smiled and said, "You already did. You're a good mother, Maya. Don't forget that." For the first time in years, Ethan felt warmth again, the kind that no amount of wealth could buy. Chapter 4. When the storm came, but life had other plans. Maya's ex-husband, an addict who had abandoned them, suddenly returned, demanding custody of Lily. He claimed Maya was unstable, working too much, unable to provide. The court case was brutal. Maya broke down, terrified she'd lose her daughter. Ethan watched quietly, wanting to help but knowing his involvement might make things worse. The media would twist it, accuse Maya of using him for influence. Until one morning, Maya found a letter on her doorstep. Greater than, you don't have to fight alone. E.B. Inside the envelope were documents, a pro bono legal team from Bennett Industries Foundation. Ethan had arranged everything, discreetly. In court, the truth prevailed. Maya kept custody. Her ex was ordered to rehab. When the verdict was read, Maya sobbed into her lawyer's arms, and from the back row, Ethan quietly slipped out before she could see him. Chapter 5. The Gift of Tomorrow. Months passed. Maya worked hard, earning respect at the company. Lily's health improved, her laughter returning to fill the small apartment they called home. One evening, Ethan invited her to his office. "Maya," he said gently, "I'm stepping down as CEO." Her eyes widened. "What? Why?" He smiled. "Because I finally realized what really matters. I've spent years chasing success, but people like you reminded me what purpose feels like." He handed her a file, a new position, with higher pay, flexible hours, and a note. Greater than, so you can be both, the mother Lily deserves and the woman the world needs. Maya's voice broke. "I don't know how to thank you." Ethan looked at her, eyes warm but sad. "You already did, Maya. The day you refused to give up." Epilogue. The whisper that changed everything. Years later, Lily grew up to become a doctor, specializing in children's medicine for low-income families. At her graduation, she told the audience, "Greater than, when I was little, a stranger helped my mom buy my medicine. That act of kindness saved not just my life, but both of ours. Because of him, I learned what true wealth means, compassion." In the crowd, an older Ethan smiled quietly, tears glistening in his eyes. He whispered again, just like that day in the pharmacy. Greater than, charge it to me. Only this time, he wasn't paying for medicine. He was paying it forward, through the life he helped save. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can rewrite someone's entire story. You never know whose tomorrow you're saving by being kind today.